Respecting 1v1 duels. When two players are engaged in one-on-one battle, especially when it's two identical heroes, it's courteous from other players to refrain from interfering. This respect for individual duels is appreciated by many in the community. And in Marvel Rivals, while the game provides official rules and guidelines, the player community has developed several unwritten rules to enhance gameplay. And here are some of the unwritten rules you should be aware of. Do me a favor, let me know what your unwritten rules are in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's dive straight in. When the opportunity arises, it's a common practice to use your ultimate ability solely on the enemy Jeff. The tactic is widely accepted and even encouraged within the community. For whatever reason, everybody has a deep hatred of this lovable creature, mainly to the fact that he's so easy to kind of bully around. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if this is categorized as cyberbullying, but who honestly knows? Now, honestly, this next unwritten rule should probably become a written rule, and that is Strategist Appreciation. You should try to recognize and appreciate the efforts of strategists on your team. Their contributions are crucial, and acknowledging their support fosters better teamwork. Although sometimes it might not seem that way, or they're not providing you all the healing you need right away, you still have to factor in they're trying their best to keep you alive, and you should just appreciate them because they decided to pick a strategist so you didn't have to. Now, there's also some sort of ultimate ability etiquette. You want to avoid using ultimate abilities to secure a single elimination unless it's strategically necessary. Preserving ultimates for critical moments can be more beneficial for the team, although it might be very tempting to solo ult that cloak and dagger on the other team. Now, I'm not really sure how true this next unwritten rule actually is, but you want to avoid spawn camping. It's considered poor sportsmanship to camp near the enemy spawn points. Allow opponents the chance to re-enter the battlefield fairly. Now, although sometimes it might be understandable to why you're spawn camping, but honestly, I rarely ever see this happening in any of my games, so maybe it is something that's actually followed. Especially when specific rules are needed to balance the team composition. For example, you might be lacking one healer or one vanguard, so it's in your best interest to swap. That's why I highly encourage you to at least learn 2 to 3 heroes per role. It makes climbing in the ranked mode a whole lot easier, and it'll also have your teammates being a whole lot less toxic to you. Now, one unwritten rule of Marvel Rivals that players tend to forget about is target prioritization. You always want to focus on high value targets such as enemy support heroes during engagements. Eliminating or distracting enemy healers can significantly tilt the battle in your favor. So if you see that trash panda scurrying around the battlefield, it's your best priority to take him out quickly. Now, this is a fundamental rule in almost any hero shooter. If you're being hard countered, to switch heroes. Some characters simply can't play to their strengths against certain compositions. For example, in Marvel Rivals, dive heroes struggle against Namor and Luna's team up. His squids create constant obstacles, and the frost squid slows down your approach, making it nearly impossible to engage efficiently. Now, when you find yourself in this situation, swap to a hero that can better handle the enemy team's kit. Adaptability is a key skill in Marvel Rivals, so don't hesitate to change things up. And if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It's one of the best ways to help support this channel, and it means the world to me. But anyways, back to the show. Now, you've probably noticed that team composition in Marvel Rivals can vary significantly. Whether it's the standard 2-2-2 setup, triple support, or even triple TPS, maybe you're throwing 2 vanguards in there. For the most part, any combination can work. However, there's one unwritten or universal rule that stands out, and this rule is that your team must have at least 2 support or strategist heroes. Without at least 2 strategists or supports or healers, whatever you want to call them, your team won't have enough sustain during fights. A single healer can't keep up with 5 teammates, and if they get picked off, things can quickly spiral out of control. Now, this next unwritten rule is filling the support role. If your teammates have already locked in their picks and there's only one support, the team needs you to fill the gap. Choosing a strategist ensures your team has the necessary sustain to secure victory. Don't be that player who locks in another DPS or another vanguard when you only have one strategist. And of course, you're the last to pick. Trust me, it's not going to be fun for anybody on your team. Now, this next unwritten rule revolves around your ultimate ability. If you're thinking about switching heroes, remember this crucial rule. Use your ultimate first. Changing heroes resets your ultimate charge to 50%, so it's often worth using it before swapping. Even though you're kind of running it down, say, as Spider-Man, your ultimate could turn the tide of the battle, securing a key elimination or even forcing an enemy to burn their own ultimate. Maximizing its impact before switching ensures they're still contributing to your team's success. Although sometimes they may not feel that way, you might as well give it one last shot before you switch anyway. This next rule might seem somewhat counterintuitive, But if your team loses a fight and you're the last one alive, instead of trying to survive and risk getting staggered, just jump off the map. It's something I like to call tactical regrouping or tactical running it down. It's like you're running it down with a purpose. Trust me, you don't want to be the person holding up their team. And it's actually a win-win type of situation. You respawn faster and rejoin your team for the next fight. And you also deny the enemy ult charge, preventing them from charging up their ultimates and then snowballing. Strategist ultimates are game-changing, particularly defensive ones. Support's ults can sustain a team for over 10 seconds with very few ways for the enemy to actually break through them. Because of this, one of the most important unwritten rules is to communicate before using your strategic defensive ultimate. There's nothing worse than having both supports use their ultimates at the same time since they achieve the same goal and stack inefficiently. Simple communication ensures maximum value from each ult. All you have to say is literally, let me ult first. That's literally all it takes and it could completely change your game. Now, a good strategist also knows to save their ultimates to counter enemy team ults. Some abilities or ultimates can potentially wipe your entire team. Keeping your strategist ult in reserve allows you to react and prevent a team wipe. The next one is when the enemy team is grouped inside a support ultimate, fighting them head on is nearly impossible. Instead, focus on farming ultimate charge by targeting tanks. Tanks are really large, so super easy to hit, making them the best source of quick ult charge. This downtime can be a huge advantage if used correctly. Now, I think another unwritten rule you should probably know by now is that you need to let your supports farm ult charge. If you need healing and it's safe, don't run back to spawn or go for a health pack. Instead, let your strategist heal you to farm ultimate charge. Every bit of healing contributes to getting their ult online faster, which benefits the whole team. And if one of your supports already has their ultimate and your secondary support doesn't have theirs yet, go ahead and tell your one support to stop healing so that your other one can build up charge as well. Now, there is some hero selection etiquette. If two players hover over the same character, the unwritten rule is to let the player with the Lord status take it. They likely have more experience and will perform better. If neither or both have Lord status, the player who hovered first gets priority. But we all know the truth, everybody is selfish in this game and will take it whenever they can. Now, on payload movement maps, speed does matter. On convergence and convoy maps, when you wipe the enemy team and are nearing a checkpoint, ensure that at least 3 players are on the payload. This maximizes its speed, securing the checkpoint before the enemy has a chance to contest. Now, everyone said you need 4 players on the payload, but that's actually completely false. You only need 3. Having 3 or 4 players on the payload is the same exact speed. Now, here's a unwritten rule for all my Luna Snow players out there. For Luna Snow players, a highly recommended rule is to place your Frost Guard on diving DPS characters or on your Storm players. Since they are often out of vision while flanking, passive healing from Frost Guard helps them stay alive longer. And let me tell you from personal experience, when I play Storm and I don't receive Frost Guard, I get very annoyed. But the second I receive it, I'm the happiest person in the world, knowing that this Luna Snow actually knows what they're doing. And if you're playing Frost Guard on one of your tanks, you're really not playing Luna Snow right. Your tank, who is right in front of you, is already receiving consistent healing. Your DPS needs it more. What do you think about these unwritten rules in the comments down below? And let me know your unwritten rules as well, and I might put it in a video. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video or you found it entertaining in any way, shape, or form, do me a tremendous favor by hitting that like and subscribe button. It greatly helps me out. But regardless, I hope you have a great day and I'll catch you in the next one.